What is goody, y'all? It's your boy Shacked.
And I'm Bolo, and welcome back to Q The Breakdown. Today we got the homie Avi BAKR.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Dude,
Yeah,
next
bro, we're
time
stoked.
like an air horn, like a real life air horn.
Bro, I know you're something, dude. The
Not-
little confetti poppers. BAKR.
Boom.
Yeah.
Get the fucking air horn and not tell the guests we have it, and just like.
Yeah. We'll work
But-
on that.
BAKR, man, we appreciate you coming on here. This guy's got a lot of dope shit that I'm excited for him to touch on, share with you guys, share with us. For starters, man, obviously you DJ, you run an event company, been killing it there.
Thank you.
You do lawyer work for Airbnb.
I do. Yep.
What do you not do?
Man, there's a lot I don't do.
Yeah.
But I'm just doing the things that I love and things that, can help keep my dream alive and get me to the next step,
Nice.
Fair enough. That'll play.
That was beautiful.
I'm
Beautifully
inspired.
said. How long you been DJing?
I started DJing back in 2017. It actually started. I went to a friend's birthday party, or actually, it was a friend of a friend's birthday party, and he had just got a set of DDJ 400s for his birthday.
Nice.
Classic.
From his dad, and I walked in, and I was just like, "Yo, like, I've always wanted to learn how to use these things." And he's like, "Dude, me too." He's like, "I just got them. You wanna fuck around and figure it out?"
There you go.
So every day, actually, I was working my first paralegal job at Zynga, the video game company.
Yeah, the poker game.
And it was right next to his house. So every day after work, I would walk over to his place, and we would just practice for like 3 to 4 hours, just train wrecking. But we had the most fun, and we had the same taste of music. So
there you go.
That's kind of what started the whole thing. And eventually we were like, "Yo, like, let's start throwing parties."
Yeah.
So we this is back in San Francisco.
Is that where you're from originally?
I'm originally from Michigan.
Okay.
I went to school at Arizona State up until 2015, and then I moved to SF. So this is 2 years into my career. This is about the summertime when I met him, and then going to the fall, we were just like, "Yo, like, how do we like get this bigger? How do we start playing in front of people?"
Yeah.
So there's this park in San Francisco called Dolores Park.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well aware.
And so we'd go to Dolo, and we'd bring like our computers, and the DJs you don't need a generator. They just run off the
Right.
laptop power.
Yeah.
So we'd each bring our laptops. We'd bring a fold-up table, a Bluetooth speaker, because the law was you can't have amplified sound. And then I looked at the definition of amplified sound, and it's a powered speaker with a generator.
Right.
Yeah.
But if it's running off of Bluetooth, we got around that loophole that way. So that's how we started playing for people at the park.
Big lawyer guy.
So then,
Yeah.
sometimes the Rangers would even come up, and I would just spit the law on them, and they'd be like, "All right."
I got him. Hey, bro, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. So this is like into the fall of 2017. Weather starts getting colder, and we're like, "All right, we got to keep this alive. How do we? We got to find a venue." So we found this bar in the Tenderloin that was, it was pretty bad part of town, but they were willing to let us do it, and they would also give us a commission of bar sales. So we moved to this bar, and we started throwing events. There's maybe a 40-50 person capacity at this place. We started packing it out within a couple of weeks of doing this, just from promoting it through our friends. Like, we were all like pretty young in the game. Like, it wasn't big at all, but it was just like a pure passion of ours.
Yeah.
And that kind of stimulated, the journey that we created. This is 2 years before GCODE existed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that the one that you used to do the parties with? Is he a part of GCODE as well, or no?
So we co-founded it together, and we actually were a duo at the beginning. BAKR didn't come until about like 6 to 8 months after we originally started. So
what was the duo?
it was AVN. His name was Ananya, so it was Avi and Ananya, AVN.
Nice.
And then we started getting booked as the duo, and we were just like, after a couple months, we were like, damn, like, what if we could each get booked for an hour and then get paid, each get paid instead of doing one slot and only getting paid once.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like how it progressed. And then, once we started filling up these bars, we couldn't fit any more people. So we were like, how do we get into a club? There was this venue called 1015 Folsom, and they have a couple of side rooms. So they would give us the side rooms to do a takeover. And that's kind of where GCODE came from. We were like, we need a brand, we need a name. but this is also like a high traffic club booking headliners. So if we could put our company name on these shows, doing a side room takeover, this could really build it and, get us to that next level. So that's kind of when I created BAKR. He was going through some personal things, so he dropped out and I took it over. But yeah, that's kind of like the backstory of BAKR, backstory of GCODE.
Yeah.
That's sweet as fuck.
1015 is a dope spot.
Yeah, we were just there about a month ago. We did a takeover for James Hype. So that was,
I saw that, bro.
Yeah, one of my favorite DJs. So it was really awesome to be on that show.
That's tight as hell. How long ago was that when GCODE, I guess, was founded?
I incorporated it in 2019, April 2019.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's sweet.
So he's been in the game for a minute now.
Yeah. So just the scene in San Francisco back then, pre-COVID, was really tight knit. Compared to LA, where we've also done events, and I lived for a year. The difference, I love LA, I love the scene out there, but I think the real difference to me in San Francisco back then was people didn't really care who was playing. They went out to support their friends, and it felt like a very tight knit community. And I think that's one thing that I really like about San Diego too.
Yeah, definitely.
It feels
similar.
a lot more community driven than it is like headliner or who am I with kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. San Diego's like everybody eats. Where you come up with the team, I don't really see a lot of bad blood or bad relationships unless it's someone that's cleared, but you're well aware of that, you've been doing it for a minute. So it's cool to be a part of a community like that. So
I feel like everyone who we've had on the podcast who's from San Diego or they reside here now, they've all touched on that too. It's just the community aspect of San Diego. It's just so welcoming and shit. I moved out here 2 years ago and it's the same thing. That's why I stuck around.
Where'd you come from?
I came up, where Napa Valley is?
Yeah.
Okay, quick question. Is Napa Valley in the Bay Area?
A lot of people from Napa come to the Bay.
he didn't
Asking
give
for a friend.
no instant yes. We gotta get a little ticker going.
Dude.
Every time he asks someone from the Bay, they're like, I don't know, dude.
It's close.
If you're not from the Bay, you don't even know it, I'll just be like, oh yeah, I'm from the Bay Area. But then every once in a while I'll say that and someone's from the Bay Area, they're like, oh, what part? I'm like, oh, Napa. They're like, you're not from the
If you didn't tell me
Bay
you're from Napa, I would say no.
All right,
from
BOLO
North Bay.
0. Cue the breakdown 5. Let's go.
You know where Sonoma is?
Yes.
Yeah, so I went to school at Sonoma State. So, it was fucking even closer to San Francisco. Still can't claim it or not?
No.
I don't know, man.
But yeah, so I'm pretty familiar with 1015 Folsom, that whole area, Temple. They got some sick venues out there.
Yeah, Temple was one of the first clubs that I played at as BAKR, and this was I think in early 2018, and it was in their Infinity Room. I think they've renovated it since then. We did a show back there in May with Sizak, and it's a completely different looking kind of space.
Really?
I think there used to be two parts of it. There was the hip hop area, and then there was the Infinity Room with all these mirrors and pillars and stuff. But so yeah, that was my first individual show as BAKR. So that was a good memory.
That's dope.
Nice.
My first time there was everyone was selling it. I think it was the first venue, or I think the only venue in SF. I don't know if that's true. It has 360
Definitely
degrees
not
of
the
sound.
only one.
No, not the only venue. The only venue that has 360 degree sound.
Okay.
So you're dialed in there.
They got Xboxes all around the room or what?
Everywhere, bro.
No way.
Everywhere. How did you end up here in San Diego?
So COVID happened, obviously, and everything went remote. So I'm a work from home attorney. I work for I was working for a different company at the time. So I'm paying expensive rent to live downtown SF. Everything's closed. You can imagine how much rent is there, at least twice as much as I'm paying now. And I was like, why am I paying this much to live here just to sit in this box? It was a nice place, but it wasn't worth it to me. And I was like, I'd rather be somewhere where I can go outside or maybe enjoy the weather a little bit more rather than all the cloudiness and the cold and the homeless people, downtown SF. So I got some friends together and we got a pretty nice house in LA. So I spent 1 year in LA, and things started opening up again up until last year. And I didn't really see myself there longer term. I had a really good time there though, because back to my earlier point, it was very because there weren't clubs, there wasn't like a scene, you know, people were really connecting with each other. The underground was very alive, and everything music wise was driven by the underground. So I think it really like opened up my network, and I got to meet a lot of like really cool artists, people that, you know, I've only seen on SoundCloud or people I've only seen on Instagram, and I got to like know them and party with them personally. So I think that was like a really, really awesome experience. Plus I had a backyard, I had a pool, you know, I had my own living room that I just turned into a DJ studio. And I can bump it as loud as I wanted without neighbors below me. So that was a really, really great year, but you know, longer term, I just didn't see myself there. And I've always just been drawn to San Diego. So this was a natural choice for the next place to be.
From the women to the weather, nothing gets better than sunny San Diego.
Someone said that.
I know. Sorry.
Dude, this guy's got the slogans down, bro.
Dude, I'm that guy.
Last time you said one about redlining. What was it?
Oh, green is go, yellow is mellow, red is dead, or something like that. But I don't know. It rolled off the tongue. But it was in the moment.
Last time.
We had beer that time, you know.
Damn, I didn't get a beer.
Yeah, dude, I'm sorry, but you want some cherry vanilla Coke? I got you.
All right, thank you.
How long ago was that though? That was within a year?
Yeah, that was a year ago. So I moved here last August. I'm just coming up on 1 year. Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. You've been smashing, bro.
Thank you.
Facts, bro. I feel like I met you and then I just saw you everywhere.
I mean, it helped. I didn't come here cold. Like I had some friends here already in the industry. I don't know, and also the reputation, you know, that we've built in SF and things we've done in LA did really help. At least in terms of GCODE, you know, getting booked at different venues here, and then myself as BAKR, you know, establishing myself in the club scene here separate from GCODE. So yeah, I mean, they're all interrelated for sure, but I think coming in, you know, with something that you're passionate about and, you know, a portfolio to show for it, I think are essential things to growing yourself as an artist or as an event producer even.
For sure. Because obviously you've done a lot of big shows for a lot of big people with GCODE and as BAKR. What do you think has been one of your most memorable shows to date? Yeah,
there's a couple. Honestly, one of the most exciting ones for me was our very first show. And this also was one of the reasons why I decided to incorporate the company. So it was a yacht party called Base on the Bay. And this is an SF. So we rented out one of those massive hornblower ships. Yeah. And we were no one. Like, we were just coming up. We didn't have, all the connections that we have now. We didn't have any portfolio. We literally just created a brand, created a logo, created a name, had our friend group, and we were like, let's throw a fucking yacht party.
Bare bones, baby, let's go.
And then the business side of me is like, wow, how much is this going to cost?
Yeah, exactly.
Without being specific, it was upwards of, $15,000. And I was like, I'm not going to put that on my own credit card. Let me create an LLC. If it works, great. Let's keep going. If not, I'll dissolve the company. No harm, no foul. I'm not going to be liable for that.
Lawyered.
We sold it out, and we netted, upwards of like $30K for this show. Hey. But what was most exciting was we didn't have any major headliners. The biggest act we had was a good friend of mine. His name is Mado. Mm-hmm. We've done plenty of shows with him and his brand Limbo over the last couple of years. Shout out Mado. One of the most inspirational artists of mine too. He just everything from his songwriting to his doing his own vocals to his sound design. He also has a track, I think, with Burko, nice. Another homie, but this is well before I even knew who Burko was. But he was our biggest act, and then it was just a bunch of locals, 500 people. We filled up this yacht, made a bunch of money. But what was cool is there was 3 stories on this boat. And we made each deck like a different vibe. So there was like the top deck, and we gave it to a different collective, and it was like more future based, kind of like chill vibes. You had the outdoor scenery. Mm-hmm. The middle deck, that was like more of like a tropical, like vibey deck. Mm-hmm. And then the bottom deck, we called it the bass deck, and that was like the bass house, the tech house, the G house. Because GCODE was really started by the song written by Bijou called GCODE. Yeah. And Bijou is one of the first artists that I discovered. And he calls himself the G House Guru. And I was like, when I discovered him, I was like, what is this hip hop and house music blend? No one is playing this. Where can I hear more? And it was original. I found Bijou because of his track with Dr. Fresh. Yeah. Shout out Tony. Shout out Ben. Called Hello.
Hello, yeah,
He's like,
bro.
start of this gangster shit.
Some motherfucker thinks
yeah.
I get.
Hello.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
a banger.
OG song right there.
And I was like, I know Dr. Fresh. Who is this Bijou guy? And I looked into it, and then he released this EP the same year I started DJing, 2017. And I think it was track number 12 on that EP was called GCODE. So fast forward to 2019 when I was creating the brand, I was like, what do I call my company? And for some reason, the name GCODE just like stuck in my head, and I was like, that sounds like a really cool name.
That's hard.
Yeah,
It's gangster.
And it's like the G. It's like the attitude.
Yeah.
And it's not just G House. It could be like G Tech. It could be like, G Lounge. You know, anything with like a G, like to a
Makes it
house
way
music
sicker.
vibe, is kind of like what GCODE represents to me. So
I like that. That's cool.
yeah, that's kind of like where the name aspect of it comes to. And I don't know, I just like incorporating hip hop, R&B, just like a sense of attitude with the house music that is so prevalent today.
Yeah.
Hella.
It stands out heavy too. And too, like when you're playing in a crowd, when you're playing a show and it's just tech house, no vocals going over and over again. When you throw in that like hip hop remix or something that people can relate to, it just takes the intensity up such another notch.
Yeah,
it's so much better.
it's familiarity with surprise. And I
Yeah.
think those two elements, like it gets everyone's engagement, like without you having to do anything.
Yeah.
Like they start singing along, they know the words, but then it's like a track they haven't heard though. So, I mean, that makes an effective DJ set because it makes it more memorable and more people feel more connected to your set.
Right.
Yeah,
That way when they
definitely.
can somehow be involved or singing it,
Yeah.
Damn, that's lit, bro. What about? I know you touched quickly on like some of your most inspirational DJs. Give me like a top 3 most like almost like dream DJs that you would want to like open for or that you catch inspiration from.
Yeah, man, there's so many out there. I mean, my interests have evolved and they're continuing to evolve. But I mean, Bijou I've opened for him a couple of times now. Dr. Fresh did a show with him. It was a rooftop party. Hot Since '82. He's one of my favorite producers now. A little bit more like matured sound, a little bit more vibey, a little bit. I don't know, more flowy, and I really like the way he mixes. I really like the way he produces. I'm always expanding, my genres, and I'm always trying to discover new music now.
Yeah.
And then also, we opened for James Hype, just last month. So I feel like I'm kind of checking off a lot on the list.
Yeah.
That's tight.
And then the list
there's
just keeps getting bigger, bro.
Yeah,
Up, up,
exactly.
and up.
But
Hey,
I think
like-
right now I'm trying to discover new types of music and develop new types of experiences. So that's kind of like where we're going right now.
Nice.
You just did an after party for Hot Since '82, right?
I did, yeah. Avenue, shout out Avenue, PB, shout out Chip, Dos Lonely Boys, 5150. They gave me
That's
the
tight.
industry night for that night. I asked them specifically, I was like, yo, are you guys doing anything after the Hot Since '82 show at Beach House? And he's like, it's yours. So,
That's so perfect,
yeah, it was really
man.
great. Yeah, it was super lit. And that's one thing also that's super cool about SD is Sundays go off here. Like,
Dude, yeah,
in
facts.
SF, everyone has work and for some reason can't go out. But here, it's like 2 a.m., the club is packed.
Bro, Firehouse Avenue. There's always something going, Beach House is usually bumping.
For real. And people still have work. It's just people
yeah.
send it.
Bender.
Big
Yeah.
senders.
I love the
Mountain.
culture here. It's so alive.
Let's talk about, you talked about your most memorable gig. Do you have like a most
Yeah.
worst
So
experience?
that first the boat party was awesome. That's kind of what really kicked all this off. But right when COVID happened, obviously like we had just started GCODE. We were going real strong, and then all of a sudden everything closes. So I was like, how do we keep this alive? And everything with live streaming came out. That was the only way to continue doing this, sharing your music, sharing the vibes, connecting with people while you're at home quarantining. And we were like, we don't want to just be another bedroom DJ, just doing something in our bedrooms, like with a webcam. Like if I'm going to spend time like recording a mix, making it, putting it out, promoting it, like I want it to be something special, something that's timeless. So we had the idea to do something similar to like Circle. And I hit up my buddy Ophir.
Nice.
And I flew him up to San Francisco, and we went to this overlook of the Golden Gate Bridge, and we created the series called Elevated. And I hired my whole media team come out, like 3 guys with 4K cameras, 2 guys with drones, and we literally just set up and did he played first, and then I jumped on it for a little bit, and then we did it back to back. None of it was like really like planned. Like we just knew what we were doing, but we didn't know how it was going to go down.
Yeah.
And it took us, a few months to figure out how we needed to edit it right, what we wanted to do to promote it, what would like really showcase the vibes, because we knew that we were appealing not just to like our local friends and industry people, but like a global audience was our target.
Yeah.
We want, because San Francisco with the bridge in the background, it was right during golden hour, very picturesque.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want people around the world to see this vibe, and something that can be watched even today. So that kind of is what opened up my eyes to the idea of like combining media, like top quality like media production with my shows. And since then, even for my individual shows as BAKR, I've been like incorporating full length, multiple camera video editing and full length sets that you can watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
From my biggest
You did that
shows.
at Nova, right? You had GoPros and stuff and everything.
Yeah, so I always bring
Makes
my
a big difference,
GoPros, but
bro.
I'll have anywhere from 1 to 2, maybe even 3 if it's an outdoor venue. Videographers roaming around or shooting drone if it's possible.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Big difference, bro. It's like it's the next step. It's a game changer. Makes
Yeah,
everything super clean,
you guys,
especially drone footage.
You
too.
guys know as DJs, like if you get an opportunity or you even get asked to send in a mix to open for someone you like really want to open for.
Yeah.
You don't always have the choice of like, all right, what's going to be the right mix to send? What's the vibe going to be like?
Yeah.
And also, if it's a SoundCloud mix and it's like has 0 plays, it's completely objective and it's like up to chance. But if you have that plus like a video plus a bunch of views and it's like a packed crowd for a big name artist, like earlier you were asking like how do I open up for these artists? Like by focusing on the media the last couple of years, that has been like one of the driving forces in landing these bigger shows.
Yeah. Professionalism.
Yeah.
That's a big fact.
Yeah, it's like how you represent yourself is how you're seen, and how much energy and time you put into your craft is going to pay off long term. So
It's like building a resume, Like
Exactly.
your social media.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just like your one pager, bro. You're just like, here, this is everything I've done. You can see it, full engagement and everything. And it's like,
Content is king.
yeah.
Content's really
Mr.
king for
TikTok
sure.
star over here, my big boy.
That's why you guys started this podcast, right?
That's hella funny.
Shout out Q the Breakdown.
Let's go, baby.
He was asking like, why'd you guys start the podcast? And Jared just swears it's because we're gonna blow up on TikTok.
He's blown up on TikTok, guys. He's got what, like
Bro.
100?
Like a couple 100 million.
Yeah.
A couple hundred followers,
112.
probably like a couple hundred views. Dude, follow me on
videos
TikTok.
are fire. They're clean. Are you
Come
plugging
on.
yourself right now,
Follow me
bro?
on TikTok. No, I'm just kidding. Dude, that's sweet though. I wanted to ask you about a most traumatizing gig experience.
Ooh, traumatizing.
You ever had one that just like resonated with you? Like, damn, that was terrible.
Yes, I think there was one show that we did, and like I think the saddest part of it all was like how expensive it was for us as a team, and also like it was our first out of state show. So we had a gig in Austin, Texas.
Nice.
I'm not going to give you too many specifics, but we had a date set and we had the whole plan in place, but there was a couple people, like key people, that couldn't be there from the team, and we decided to push the date. So it was like a last minute date change. We ran it by the headliner. We got it approved. Like he ended up shifting some things around, and I fly my entire team out. And what was cool about this, like the idea of this show, which we successfully did actually a year before, we turned this whole venue into like a jungle. We hired like an outside plant vendor. And
What?
We spent thousands
No way.
on plants, like palm trees, like 10 feet tall.
That's fucking genius, though.
Yeah,
That's
like
fire.
we got guys on like hanging airplane wire, like hanging plants from the ceiling, decor everywhere, like rugs, astroturf, dancers, a photo booth, vendors like with clothing, and then this second time we tried doing this, we realized it was ACL weekend. So, and it was a Sunday day
damn.
party. So pretty much after all this work and all this money and all this time planning it, promoting it, producing the event, not that many people showed up.
Yeah, it's
so
tough.
it was like a major loss for us, and it hurt too because like collectively, flying a 5-person team out there, booking all these people, hiring these vendors, and then also, it hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Hurt a lot of it.
You learned a lot from it, though.
Yeah, we learned a lot. It was a huge oversight that the venue did not advise on whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to place any blame. We could have figured that out, but without being a local or without having any local support there, like we weren't really aware of like how much of an impact that would have on us. So yeah, I mean, just like putting that much energy into anything, whether it's a show or whatever it is you do, and then having no one show up, that can hurt, but I think the most important thing we learned is like we have to stay strong, and we have to also focus on like what went well, and like we did pull everything off. The only thing that sucked was like we were expecting about 400 and about like 75 people showed up.
Fuck.
So like
It happens.
it happens. Yeah.
I've definitely had plenty of shows like not that like I've personally thrown, but like I've been to where it's like you think there's gonna be 250 or 350 people, and there's like 50, 60 people, and it's just rough. Like you're so
happens.
Excited going into it.
It does
and
happen.
It's just like
it's no one person's fault. Obviously, there's a bunch of factors that played into it and things we could have done better. But the most important thing is we stayed strong as a team. We didn't let that break us. We took the learnings and moved on, and started to play it a little bit more strategic.
Yeah.
Dude, man, sucks to be there. We've all had those. Before, I kind of want to ask you about what you kind of have in the works for GCODE and the BAKR project. But before I do, I wanted to run a little game with you if you're down.
All right, let's
Run
go.
the good old fuck, marry, kill, or what?
We can't. Oh wait, no, we can do
it's
all
a
the
DJ edition.
and they're actually we can. They're dude
We
DJs.
can,
What do you mean? Come on.
Like his girlfriend's behind the camera. She's like, "What's going on here?
Yeah.
This is fuck, marry, kill DJ edition."
Ooh.
All right, you in or you out?
All right, I'm in.
All right. I'm gonna nominate James Hype. You want to nominate one?
All right. Do another one while I think about it.
Hot since '82.
Man, I was gonna pick that one.
You should have picked faster, bro.
All right, well, hold on, Chris Lake.
All right.
Oh fuck, that was a
Let's go.
curveball right there.
Chris Lake, Hot since '82. James Hype. Fuck, marry, kill.
All right, I'll start with Mary. Maybe I don't know, James Hype, not in a sexual way.
Dude, it wasn't sexual till you said that.
He's just,
Yeah, bro, well, come on.
he's just a huge inspiration of mine. Like what he does on the decks, like the way that he does his sets, the way he thinks, and also like he's a very humble guy. Like I just really like his personality. He's not super cocky. He knows what he's talking about, and he does some really fun stuff. He's very down to earth. So I think, he's someone that.
He's got a dope accent too.
Yeah, and he's British.
He's over here like, what James Hype does to the decks, he can do to me.
Who does this?
well, what if it's the James Hype remix?
All right, marry James Hype.
Fuck Hot since '82. I guess I'd kill Chris Lake.
The way you said fuck Hot since '82, I don't know, man. Hey, you better check your mans back here. Honestly, that's fair.
No hesitation either.
Yeah, she would say that. She said the same thing.
Oh my god.
Hey, it's fair, bro. You
Also
that, dude?
British.
Oh my god.
Damn, you're
cut
gonna
that shit
kill
out.
Chris Lake, bro. All right.
That's like a 2-in-1. He's killing Fisher. That's a 2-for-1. Everyone
two
goes
for-
down.
Damn,
I love
bro.
Chris Lake though. So, but hey, had to pick.
Yeah,
had to
no,
be, yeah.
I respect it.
All right, let's talk about what's next. What's like the goal for the BAKR project and GCODE?
Yeah. So on the GCODE side, we've been doing events. We started a residency at Bang Bang. It's called Tokyo Thursday.
Let's
So
go.
not booking like major headliners because it's Thursday nights, but booking at least like B level, like B tier talent.
Yeah.
Up and coming acts, maybe even like direct supports in the same tier. With the best of locals, or even opening acts that are just trying to break into the scene. So I'm trying to support the community as much as I am trying to like stimulate and level up and give opportunities to people that are like trying to get to the next stage. Because Bang Bang is, I think, in my opinion, like one of the best clubs in San Diego.
Yeah.
They have one of the best sound systems, really great
Dope-ass
production.
venue.
They
Yeah,
have
I love
cool,
Bang
They have
Bang,
cool
bro.
decor like already built in. So it's been a huge opportunity for us. I'm really blessed to have that. And also, it gives me a place to kind of grow our network and set ourselves up in the city here. We're still doing shows in SF, which is great, but now having another city that we can be involved in on a regular basis is awesome. So more to come on that. Separately, we're working on something really exciting, and it kind of goes back to what I was talking about with like Elevated and how we're like creating like focusing a lot on media as much as we are on the actual party experience. And I'm working with my creative director, Gary Gold. Shout out Anthony, I fucking love you. And
we fucking love
what
you,
a
Anthony.
name.
Gary Gold, and he also uses like a British like voiceover in his mixes and
I
stuff.
fucking love it,
Yeah,
dude.
What if it's the Gary Gold remix?
Oh, he's gonna do that now.
No.
So we're trying to create this concept where we're combining like an experience with like a show, and then making a video out of it that will kind of like show people something that they didn't know they wanted.
Nice.
Okay.
Kind of, and it's not necessarily going to be in a club venue.
Okay.
Because when you're in a club, it takes away from like the social connection, because sometimes it's too loud to even talk.
True.
And when you're in a club also, it's kind of like boxed in, there's no nature. But when you take a show and you're outside, like the experience completely changes. So if you can create an experience maybe with like some hidden or surprise elements, maybe like when you arrive, you're not sure like, what's going to happen, or maybe like there's like a pathway to get to, the area where the actual stage is. And then you can create maybe like a music video that is also a recap video.
Yeah.
I think that could be really effective in, proliferating this idea.
Yeah.
Because if you think about like most recap videos today, no matter how good they are or who produces them, what stands out about any one of them? Like it's always just lit, parties, lights, confetti. That's it.
Philly DJ
But what if there was a
arms.
storyline? What if there was a storyline to it?
Yeah. That's
So-
intriguing. I like that a lot.
That
I'm
is.
super interested to see that too.
So we're developing something like that, and everyone's going to be in a different place, have a different story, different concept, and yeah, I'm really excited to explore this idea.
Dude, fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
We have homies, they run Psychosis events, you know them?
yeah.
Yeah.
Skylar and the boys.
Yeah, big homies.
Skylar and the boys.
They just went to like their first Renegade ever, which was the one with Ghastly. He just had a
Oh
Renegade
yeah, I heard
down
about
here
that last week.
last week. That shit was lit.
Yeah, it was actually crazy.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah, stuff like that.
So now they're trying to come up with like they're pretty much trying to like do more Renegades. So that might be a good person to connect with. But what I was telling them is, and I think you might have the perfect network for it, is you just shoot out like a mass text to everyone the day of, or like a couple hours before. Yo, this is the address. Pull up, and then boom.
Yeah, exactly. There's
That'd be
obviously
tight.
a lot of blockers to pulling something like that off, such as like sound, costs, tickets, all that. So, I mean, there's obviously a way that you could make it happen, but we have some really exciting things in the works though. So that's all I'm going to say on that.
That's enough.
Man, I'm stoked for it, dude. That sounds sick.
That's tight, bro.
With BAKR, this month it's been a crazy summer. Kind of taking the month off. Just kind of working on developing this idea. Work's been crazy as well. But next month, I'm playing my first headlining show at Hard Rock for the pool party on Labor Day weekend.
Hey.
It hasn't been announced yet, but it's going to be probably out by the time this is released.
Yeah, perfect.
And then I'm also opening up for Chami at Nova on the 23rd.
Banger. I just saw that. They just announced that, didn't
Yeah,
they?
They just
Chami was
announced
just
that.
announced.
Fire.
And then GCODE is doing its first takeover with Insomniac at
Nice.
Nova for the Terrace Night Trip on September 10th.
That's perfect, bro.
That's fire.
So we got 3 big shows in September. Don't miss any of them. And yeah,
Damn.
that's it for me.
That's tight as fuck, bro.
That's a lot to look forward to. Damn.
There's a lot to look forward to. We're gonna definitely shout you out on the social and everything. We'll put together some clips so you can use these as promo.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
Let me know how I can support you guys too. I'm all about helping out the homies, and it's a community effort, really.
Yeah,
You don't get
definitely.
anywhere by yourself. So
Everybody eats, bro. At the end
that's
of the
right.
day.
Yeah,
That's
and
a fact.
when the whole team's winning, everyone's happy.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Avi, man, we're excited for what you're bringing to San Diego. I'm super stoked with being able to be a part of GCODE, man. I know you guys are onto some big stuff. We're super stoked to be homies with you. That's kind of all the questions I had.
Yeah, bro. Thank you for
Actually,
coming out,
I
man.
got a couple things for you guys. Give me a
Oh
second.
Baby, here we go.
shit!
Surprises?
Dude, this is the first time anyone has done a surprise gift. Is it a car?
Is it a car? Fire.
Hey.
Bangers.
All right. Who wants which one?
I call the gray one.
Dude, that was too
Alright,
big
there
for
you
you, bro. Let me get that
What
one.
do you mean too big for me?
All right, I'll take the burgundy one. Dude, let's go.
I'm the king of triple
Look at
XL.
this.
Yeah, this is a limited drop. So
Actually,
Dude.
you know what? We'll have a little try on haul after this.
We
We'll
will.
see which one looks better on. Because
We'll do-
this one matches your hair, bro.
That one does match my hair.
Bro, thank you. What the heck?
yeah, no
Dude,
problem.
much
No
love,
problem.
bro.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me.
Appreciate you,
Bro,
man.
anytime.
That's sweet as hell.
Yo, give us a follow, GCODE, at GCODE Presents on all socials, at Official BAKR. If you want to check out my music, my videos on YouTube. My biggest one that I did recently was Matroda.
Yeah.
I was direct support. It was my first direct support gig with Insomniac, so it was a big moment for me, and
Yeah.
it's probably one of my better sets and videos that I've done. So
Let's
Fuck
go.
yeah.
be sure to check that out.
More to come, too, baby. You already
Dude.
know.
Fuck yeah, tap in with the boy. He's an OG. You're gonna see him all around San Diego. SF2. He's on the come up, man. We appreciate you guys tuning in with us. BAKR, thank you for tuning in with us, bro.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
See you
man.
the air horn. Pop, pop, pop.
We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Cue the breakdown. Cue the breakdown.